What's up, everybody? Today, we're going to go over my approach to street photography as an introvert, and we're going to go over some tips and tricks, help you get out of your shell as well. I'm a poet and didn't know it, so let's get it. Thanks for tuning in today. As an introvert, my journey into street photography has not been the smoothest. There were a lot of hurdles that I had to overcome to get over my fear of everybody's looking at me. I'm the only guy with a camera. What am I doing out here? I struggled with anxiety and a myriad of other issues when I was out there first getting started. And I really wanted to go over some things today to hopefully help you get started and maybe get off to a better start than I did. So with that, let's go over my first method to help you get out there and get shooting. And that is bring a friend with you. When you're in a group or you're in a group setting or you're with other friends shooting or you're with a significant other, any of those different scenarios, and you're out on the streets shooting, there's less attention being drawn to you when you're in a group. People think you're either a tourist or you're there with friends and you're just trying to capture the memories. They don't think you're out there doing street photography, trying to hone your skill and do professional work and eventually get paid for it. It's really a great way when you first are getting started to get out there and gain some confidence in yourself before you get out there by yourself and you think everyone's staring at you, and it causes you to either have one, a bad experience, two, not be creative, or three, just go ahead and leave and not get any shots. So bringing a group of friends with you or bringing your significant other can help de-stress the situation and make it just feel like an outing with friends and less like this everyone's staring at me, I got a camera in my hand situation, which honestly, they're not staring at you, but I get it. I used to feel the same way. I still feel the same way, especially yesterday when I went out on the streets with my point of view action cam strapped to me. I'm like, okay, everyone's definitely staring at me. Guess what? No one stared at me. No one. As you've seen on some of my YouTube videos, my wife sometimes accompanies me out there on the streets, and when she is out there, I let her help me film. Number one, that's awesome. I like it when I have some help filming. It helps me get more creative shots, but also it just de-escalates the situation and it just makes me feel like I'm out there with my friends. Now, I will tell you that you might not get the best shots you've ever gotten, and that's okay, because you're out with your friends and they're pointing out things that they want you to take a picture of because they think they're helping you, and they're not helping you, but it's okay. You're out with friends. You're going to take different shots. You're probably not going to take the shots that you can sit there and observe and wait the longest because you're out with friends. They don't want to sit there and wait with you for hours or 30 minutes while you're waiting for an interesting subject to walk through your shot. So you're not going to get the best shots when you're out with friends, but that's okay when you're first starting out. It's okay to not get the best shot. So bring a friend with you next time. It'll de-escalate the situation and make it a lot less stressful. You're just out here having fun with your friends, learning photography. That's one tip. That really has helped me, and I still do it. I still do it to this day. Another thing is, and this is kind of a double negative, try to avoid avoiding people. If they look at you, just give them a smile. Most of the time they're going to smile back, and it's going to de-escalate the situation and you're going to be fine. But if you're up here with your camera and all of a sudden they're staring at you and you realize it and you put it down and you run away, they're going to think that's suspicious. They're going to think something's going on, that you're a private investigator. I don't know. They're going to think something. So don't do that. Just smile, wave maybe. I promise you, the worst thing that's going to happen is they ask you to delete the photo. That's the worst thing. So think about that. The worst thing they're going to ask me to do is delete the photo. Most cases, they're not. They're going to smile, wave. It's going to be fine. Don't scowl at them. Don't run away. Don't look like you're suspicious, or you're going to get further issues, and you don't want that. The worst case scenario in this event is you have to delete the picture. Well, the worst case scenario is you have to be interacting with people, and as introverts, none of us want to do that. But what I'm trying to say is the worst that could happen is it's not going to kill you. You're not going to get hurt. So it's not a big deal. Take the photo. That's all I'm trying to say. Promise you. All right, my next tip, practice. We're talking about practice. Yes, we're talking about practice. Oh, I love that skit. You need to make sure that when you're on the streets, you know how to use your camera like the back of your hand. It's an extension of your arm, an extension of your hand. So you need to learn this camera, whatever camera you have, the menu systems, where things are at, how to navigate it, how to quickly make adjustments, because that will save you from getting the shot versus not getting the shot. Street photography is a very fast moving environment, and if you understand your camera intimately, you're going to be able to make those adjustments quickly to get the shot that you want without looking conspicuous. You're out with a group of friends, use them as your model. Practice on them. Practice making those quick adjustments to your camera, and have one of your friends walk through a shot that you're looking to make, and make sure that you know how to make those quick adjustments with your camera. Because if you don't, I'm telling you, it's cost me several shots. All the times that I've swapped cameras, and like I didn't know the camera very well, and I went on the streets trying to test it out, and I didn't have a clue. It's cost me several shots. So get to know your camera. And when you're out on the streets and you're first getting started and you're practicing and you're just getting to know your camera and you're introverted and you're not sure, okay, are people staring at me, yada yada yada. How about just don't take pictures of people? Look at these architecture pictures I've taken. There's a lot of times when I'm out on the streets, the first thing I do when I get out there is I take some architecture pictures, some establishing shots. I've talked about those before, but some architecture pictures, there's nobody in those. It's low stress. It gives you some time to meter the scene, understand what your ISO and your exposure looks like, and then you take the photo. Again, practice, practice, practice. All right, those are my tips. Let's get into some tricks that I've used over the years that help me stay inconspicuous and not be seen and avoid those weird, awkward interactions as introverts that we do not want to deal with. So, first things first, shoot from the hip, okay? So you got your camera. Hopefully your camera has one of these bad boys on it. Of course, this one doesn't. This is a film camera, so I cannot do that. But this one does, and I'm able to bring it down to like chest high, look down. A lot of times when you're doing this, people think you're just reviewing your images. You're down here, you're looking down, and honestly, you can take as many shots as you want, and all you got to do is, as soon as someone looks at you, just go, oh, yeah, that's it, and then put the camera down. They think you've just looked at your last image, you didn't take any pictures of anybody. Nothing wrong with doing that. It helps to, or don't bring it to your viewfinder, have it way out here. You could be taking a picture, or you could be viewing the back of the screen. They don't have a clue, and that might help set you at ease and avoid that awkward interaction. Another thing that I would say is put the camera to your eye, ready the shot, away from your subject, and then bring the camera down to the subject, take the shot, and keep moving. I did a representation on the streets yesterday with this, and I'm going to pull that video in and show you guys. But what I mean, if you guys right there are my subject and I'm right here, I might look up here, meter the scene, get all my settings set up, come down, take the shot, and then keep looking down and put the camera down. So I've taken the shot. My shutter speed's fast enough. I made sure I'm not going to be blurry. I've taken the shot, but they think that I took that shot and then put the camera down just in a slow, awkward, stupid way. They do not think I'm taking a picture. And that right there avoids a ton of awkward moments. Sometimes you can introduce some motion blur if you're not careful. So be careful and understand your shutter speed and know that you have a fast enough shutter speed to be able to capture that motion, or freeze that motion rather. Another thing that I talked about in the 56mm f1.2 review that nobody watched, but hey, it is what it is. I'm doing this for me, not for you guys. I just hope you do watch. Is longer focal length. Another trick is use a longer focal length while you're on the streets. I have started to love the 28mm. I've started to love the 18mm, 27mm full frame equivalent on the Fuji that I'm filming with. And most of the time I use this one, which is a 40mm full frame equivalent. This, which is a 40mm. I tend to like 40mm, and this is a 50mm. So I tend to use between 35 and 50mm when I'm on the streets, but there's nothing wrong with using an 85mm. There's several people that I have seen on YouTube that shoot different camera bodies using 85mm, and they do street photography all the time. You do not have to use a wide angle lens to do street photography. It just helps you feel like you're more in the moment. And when you use a longer focal length, it's more like the bird's eye view, the observer's view, not the like I'm in the scene. It's a different style of street photography. But if you're introverted and you're struggling with getting shots that are compelling, step back, use a longer focal length, get yourself out of the point of view of your subjects, and you'll be just sitting back like a creeper in the bushes taking pictures. I'm kidding, you don't want to be a creeper, but I mean, at the end of the day, it is a little creepy. Like you're like the guy in the car zooming in and taking pictures like the private investigator. No, I'm kidding. No, I have used a 56 millimeter 1.2 at street photography. I've showed you guys photos of my street photography with it. It's not my favorite focal length to use, but I do use it. And some days when I'm feeling super introverted, I'll definitely slap that bad boy on there. Now, the bigger lenses, people will tend to look at your camera as being a more professional camera. This camera right here, with this tiny lens on it, looking like this with all these dials and whatnot, people think this is like an old film camera. They don't think it's anything professional. And because of that, I'm able to take compelling photos with it without any issues. Same thing with this bad boy. They look at this thing and I'm like, okay, you got a toy in your hand. Nope, nobody. This is not a toy. This produces some pretty awesome images. But I digress. Point I was trying to make when I started rambling was use a longer focal length, get further from your subject, and you're just going to be out of their point of view. And that'll be fine. You'll be able to take the shot, more candid moments, and you'll be able to get there. What got me, honestly, to where what stepped my street photography game up was shooting weddings. Weddings is documentary style photography, just like street photography, but they want you to be there and they want you to take the picture. So you're taking photos of people in a candid environment, and you can get a lot of practice doing that. If you could ever second shoot on a wedding day as a second shooter, so you're not, all the pressure's not on you, do it. Definitely do it. Even if you had to do it for free to start, that'll help you so much. I shot one wedding for free. They loved my work, and then I started shooting tons of weddings with the group that I was with. Not only did I start shooting second shooting, but I started first shooting. And now, if I really wanted to, I could probably start my own wedding photography business. And I really like this YouTube stuff a lot better. I mean, no offense. I am an introvert, so after a while, being in that huge crowd of people, I just get tired of it. I just get kind of just over it, Bonus trick, shoot a wedding. The next trick or tip, trick, whatever you want to call it, shoot people, not faces. There's a lot of street photographers these days that don't even bother trying to frame someone's candid facial expression in their photos because they are introverted. A lot of us that grew up, probably mostly younger than me, they grew up with social media, are very introverted people. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with being introverted. I'm just saying that because I love it. I love being introverted. The last thing, trick number 6, I guess, because I gave you a bonus trick in there, is you could always just ask them. I know. None of us like doing that. We're introverts. However, as you start to gain more confidence in your skills and your abilities, you can always just say, hey, can I take your photo? The worst thing they can say is no. Now, I don't like rejection like the next person, but the worst thing they can say is no. That is not a big deal. Then you just walk on, or take their fucking photo anyway. I'm just kidding. Don't do that. So, you got to be a little brave to do this. And once you start to get better and feel more confident in your photographs and your art, this is when you start to use this tactic. I didn't start using this until probably a year ago, to be honest with you, because it took me a long time to feel confident in my work and my ability to provide a photo to these folks. Now that's another thing that I do. When I ask to take their photo, I say, hey, I'm on Instagram. I'll be more than happy to send you the photo on Instagram so you can save it for yourself and use it later. A lot of times, they are excited for that. Not only do you gain a follower, you also get to take the shot, and you get a couple retakes to get it right. So there's a lot of pluses to be had by just asking them to take the photo. Now, I don't expect anyone to do this right away, but I'm telling you, at some point, when you start to feel more confident, don't be afraid to ask. A lot of people like their photo being taken. That's all the tips and tricks that I have for this episode. If you have any tips or any tricks or any recommendations for anyone, by all means, please drop them in the comments. These are just some things that I've used over the years to help me get good shots, but also remain inconspicuous and avoid those interactions with people. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope you liked it. If you did, give me a thumbs up, drop a comment, subscribe. By all means, please subscribe to the channel if you can. I appreciate you watching. Again, have a good one. We'll see you on the next one. See ya. Peace. As an introvert, falling in love with I struggled with anxiety and a myriad of other issues. And as I ventured out into the streets to try to get the shots. Nope. Anyhow, so as you've seen on some of my YouTube videos, my wife sometimes accompany. As you've seen on some of my YouTube videos, my wife sometimes no, I cannot say accompany.